Well, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, John Daga, and with me today it's Johnny. So guys, today is the day before Thanksgiving. We worked this morning. We took the gang out for lunch.
Happy Thanksgiving!
And they've headed home to their families for the holiday. So today, I'm just going to give you a short overview of our shop. We're going to do a shop tour of 800, the world headquarters of Rare Classics Restorations, on the wrong side of the tracks. In beautiful downtown Boca Raton, Florida. So this building was built in 1962. It is 2,400 square feet, which makes it very small by shop standards. It was originally the Mackey Printing Company. Now, the Mackey Printing Company was in business from 1962 until 1991 upon the owner Robert's death. It was then converted to an automotive shop. It was Randy's Automotive, and then it was Boca Auto Works. When Boca Auto Works sold, it was during COVID, and we had the opportunity to purchase the building. Prior to that, Rare Classics had been working in the warehouse area of a tech company. So to get this building was a huge upgrade for us. At the time, there was only 4 of us, and we had a limited budget. So some of that shows in the layout of the building. Why don't you come on inside, and I'll show you what we do. All right, guys, so this is our machine shop. We have a very talented engineer and machinist. He's also a pretty good mechanic. He comes to us from the Ukraine. We call him Eugene. He's been here for, goodness, about 20 years. So we have things in our arsenal such as a bandsaw. Now, this bandsaw is variable speed, so we can turn the speed down low enough to cut metal. Most of your bandsaws you see are for cutting wood, and they go way too fast. We have a belt sander and also a surface sander. Now, you'll find a lot of stuff around here. You'll see Grizzly, you'll see Everlast, and you'll be like, oh, those are entry-level low-end brands made in Asia, and you're right. But at the time that we set this business up, we had one car to do. There was 3 of us, and we didn't know if when that car was done, if we were still going to have a job or not, or if we were going to have a business. And that was in 2017. So some of this stuff carries over as the equipment wears out, or we have need for better or more equipment. We're starting to stray away from those brands, although they've been very good to us. So another thing you'll see over here is this. This is an oven that our machinist made, and it's for hardening parts. So sometimes when we have to recreate parts for vehicles that you can't buy parts for, they have to be hardened. So we have an oven. This is a vertical mill. It will also go horizontal, although I don't believe we've ever had to put it in that position. We do have the DRO on it, but being shoved off in the corner, I can see doesn't get used very often. And we also use this as a drill press. And I did buy a drill press originally, but with the limited space in here, the drill press is now out in the shed, so to speak. So we also have a standard lathe. This is a gunsmithing lathe, basically the size and its capabilities. You'll see a lot of modifications to this lathe. It's got a bigger chuck. The tool holders have been modified. You'll see things that have been made like these compasses, which they use for cutting splines onto parts, or flats if you need to make a hexed part. And then you'll see we have a similar compass wheel arrangement that we can put on the back for indexing. You can see that it leaks oil pretty good, and we got the little catch can down here. So this piece of equipment is one of the next pieces of equipment that we're going to replace. So the area that we're standing in was originally the office of the print shop. So you can see it's got these 2 low-facing windows so that the people in the office would be able to look outside. Their customer waiting area was on the other side here of the storefront. And this would have been the executive or the office workers' bathrooms. And you can see that judging by the seafoam green tile, it's still 1962 in there. So a lot of the stuff in here we built ourselves, such as this fabrication bench, tool storage. We have a lot of thread gauges, checkers, drill bits, end mills. More of the same. Completely full of measuring and thread cutting devices. The other thing that we do in here, and I don't see any of it, is we cast a lot of epoxy resins into parts, tail lights, horn buttons. Obviously things you can't buy, but we'll make silicone molds of them and recast them, which is where the scale comes in and stuff. And then you head over here, and this is one of our mini welders. This is a TIG welder. We'll also do stick. It's water cooled. And this is the largest TIG welder we have. It's from Everlast. It's been a good piece. We've had it for years, and it's never failed us. So we'll come this way for a minute. And these are my personal tools. As you can see by the thick layer of dust on them, they don't get used very much. It's not because I don't want to work on cars. I love working on cars. I love to tinker. I just have many more responsibilities. This is an Amco brake lathe that we bought out of desperation. We bought it used and restored it ourselves. We were having a lot of drums for the Ferraris and whatnot relined, new steel liners put in them, and nobody had the ability to cut them to the size for shoes. In the corner there, you'll see a brake shoe arcing machine, which is another 1960s piece of equipment that we purchased and restored, so that we can get the brake shoes set to the drums. So this is a spindle sander. It also has a belt sander attachment. We primarily use it as a spindle sander because we already have a belt sander. Old discarded toolbox that we made into a rolling work stand. And you'll see a lot of the equipment around here is on these shop box carts or has wheels on it because we have to reconfigure the shop because we have limited floor space. So in the ability to work and depending on the project, we'll have to move all the equipment to another area or bring equipment in. So this is one of our current projects. This is a Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Roadster. It's a little outside of our norm because normally we do post-war Italian sports. I lost Johnny. Right there he is. These are great. There is so much documentation and so many parts available for these cars. They're very complex cars. The engineering on these cars was unbelievable from 1957, actually 55 when the gull wings were made. So we have the body off the chassis right now, and this is getting a full restoration, although it basically came in as a paint job and an interior. A lot of times they do snowball, or once you get into the project, the owners will add. So that's kind of where this is transpiring to. This is another one of our Everlast welders, and it's funny because this is a little welder I bought as a backup, and it seems to be everybody's go-to welder now. Can't answer that question. This is a finger brake. It's a pan and box brake, but it's a finger style, so you can remove segments of the jaws for doing, detailed stuff. We have a 48-inch shear over there for chopping metal. You'll see a lot of bins of wood and whatnot. Like this was a mold they made to form seat frames on. We've made them for windshield frames, all kinds of stuff. English wheel, and that's a power hammer. And you can see these, start seeing products in here from Bailey and stuff as we've figured out that we're going to be here a while. We've started buying, better equipment, so to speak. And equipment's great, and better equipment is greater. But the truth of the matter is, it's like the old adage: a poor musician blames his instrument. So we have guys that can probably do more with a rock and a tree stump than some people can do with a full-on snap-on toolbox condo. So, take it as it may. We get it done, and we figure that the guys that built these cars originally didn't even have stuff like this. So this over here, this is our grinder tree. And when we built this, the object was that you would use this grinder, and if you wanted to use this one, the heads interchange and it stores them. Unfortunately, the grinders kind of get used wherever they are. If you can see, they're all plugged into the wall, so kind of defeated that purpose. But you know, it's like I tell the guys, I don't care how you get there, I just care about the finished product. So moving on, we have, this is an airline dryer because Florida is extremely humid. So we have to make sure that we don't have any water in the airlines. You see all these blue pipes around the shop. That's rapid air piping. It's aluminum, it's great stuff. It's a little pricey up front, but it's, you know, you won't have better air system in the shop, and it's plumbed in a complete circle 360 around the shop, so theoretically every port has the same air pressure. We originally had the compressor sitting here, but we've since relocated it outside. It's been out there for a couple of years under an awning. It doesn't seem to have adversely affected it, and it works well, especially in conjunction with our airline dryer. So you see these two units here? These are 5-ton apiece air conditioners. Now, when we first did the calculation on this building, the calculation showed that we needed about 3.5 tons of air conditioning. We went ahead and put 5 tons in it, and you know what? 5 tons wasn't enough. So they came back and they gave us a proposal to put another 2.5 or 3 tons in here, and I said, nah, just put another 5 tons in here. So 2,400 square foot building, we have 10 tons of air conditioning. No humidity, happy guys working in here, nobody sweating on body work or raw sheet metal. It's worth it, 100%.
I was gonna say it's definitely worth it.
Definitely worth it. So coming by here, we have Elwood's Personal Tools here. This is a bead roller. You can see all the interchangeable dies on it. This is for a sheet metal fabrication tool that you know, you can put bends or creases or pleats or folds in sheet metal, and you can see there's a lot of different dies here. And then you can also see some of the dies that we've made in our machine shop to do specific things that you couldn't purchase a die for. We have our new Hobart MIG welder here. The Everlast welders, honestly, in a daily shop environment, they appeared to have about a 5 to 7 year lifespan. We have had some repaired under warranty and some repaired not under warranty. But I opted to purchase this as just a solid heavy duty MIG welder because we TIG weld most of the time because we're usually working with aluminum or thin sheet metal, so anything bigger that we're going to use a MIG welder for, you may as well just bring a hammer to the job. You can see the air hoses in here. They're all Flexzilla hoses, cost a little bit more up front, but I've still got all the same air hoses we bought back in 2017. I think that's Elwood's hose, which he came here from Texas with. So this is the chassis from the 300 SL Roadster. Give you an idea of the complexity. And you can see the dolly that we're moving it around on. We also had it up on our rotisserie, but due to the shop space, it's better like this. And the rotisserie's out in the back 40. So heading this way, this is our, this is a backyard buddy lift. This is actually a homeowner piece. It's not really a shop piece, but we've been using it for years. It's technically a storage rack. We did make a couple jack plates for it. And with only having 10-foot high ceilings instead of the suggested 14-foot, you can see where the different vehicles we have marked on the poles. So that's for a Ferrari TDF, so you don't like raise it up and crush the roof in. So, and then a lot of the workbenches around, you see they're fabricated, you know, and kind of, you know, things like a workbench, if you're a fabricator and a builder, you know, you're gonna buy a workbench or you're gonna make a workbench.
Make one.
This was actually, the basis of this workbench was actually a cart that was underneath the Bosley Interstate when we got it, that the body was rolling around on, and we repurposed it. So you see we have 2 blast cabinets. This is a big blast cabinet that we keep sand in, or silica, for larger parts with a coarser function. The one by the door over there is a smaller cabinet, and we keep glass beads in that for finer stuff and aluminum. And then heading this way, this area here in the shop, this is used for body prep and priming and whatnot. So we can close it off completely with this curtain from Jeff's. We have the valance, we have the sweep. You notice that all the electrical boxes in here are covered. And then we have our, this is a filter wall with an explosion-proof motor, to remove the dust and trap it in filters. This plenum here, which is actually ducting out an old window opening, was an in-house fabrication because we couldn't get a sheet metal shop to come do it. Again, you can see all the wheels on all the cabinets and stuff. Masking paper, more homemade workbenches. Requisite thermometer, so we know what's going on in here. And we have another Everlast welder. And this is the rear axle assembly out of the 300 SL, all stripped down. It is a swing axle. Actually, it's not really even a swing axle. It's the craziest thing you ever saw.
Germans.
Yeah, way over-engineered. So heading back towards the front here, this is my office. Used to be a bathroom. Many days I wish it still was a bathroom because we'll have a line. When this shop was first put together, there was 4 of us in this building. Now there's 8 or 9 people at sometimes in this building. Managing other private collections and then having the other collection that we work out of doing a lot of the mechanic work and the interior work where Johnny is normally. We have a staff of 9 now. Plus we have people in 2 different collections that we manage. So we have people in 4 different buildings at any given day. So I don't spend a lot of time in the office. I spend a lot of time driving around my truck. So then we have our kitchen area here. Talking about the bathrooms, I went ahead and had to add a second microwave because come 11:30, there'd be a line here, guys waiting to nuke their healthy choice so that they could have lunch. Mm-hmm. This is my poor office manager's desk. She's kind of out in the fray of things with the guys. It's tough to get on a phone call when you got somebody with a grinder or an air tool like 10 feet from you. We did get her some PPE here for when it's really loud in here. So that's kind of it. This is where the cars come to become beautiful. And you look at the shop and you go, it's dumpy little shop. But you know what? The cars that we produce here, they go to Pebble Beach and they win. We've been going over the ramp at Pebble Beach since 2017, and there's no sign of us stopping. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our little shop tour so you have an idea of what we're doing. If you like the video, give us a like. It just helps us out. We're almost to that point where we're real YouTubers. A couple more subs and we'll get there. So y'all have a great Thanksgiving, and we're going to see you on the next one.